Well, as we settle in, let's listen to some piano from Milo Bignall Jackson. Thank you. Good morning again.
Good morning again.
Welcome here. My name's Jeff White, and I serve on your fellowship board of directors. And so I want to thank everybody for being here and extend a special welcome to any visitors that we might have. And if you have any questions about the fellowship or anything, please visit the people in the fireside room at the table, and they'll be able to fill you in. And or you can sign our virtual guest book at uufames.org/guestbook. Whether you're joining us from home or here in Fellowship Hall, we invite you to stay after the service for coffee fellowship, where you can introduce yourself and have good discussions with kindred spirits. No announcements today. Wow. I know. So, on behalf of this caring and nurturing congregation, I welcome each and every one of you to this sacred space. Here we invite you to an experience of transformation, hope, renewal, and connections, which may inspire you to understand life in new ways. Thank you for joining us today.
Our opening words this morning are from Sarah York. Give us the child who lives within. Give us a child's eyes, that we may receive the beauty and freshness of this day like a sunrise. Give us a child's ears, that we may hear the music of mythical times. Give us a child's heart, that we may be filled with wonder and delight. Give us a child's faith, that we may be cured of our cynicism. Give us the spirit of the child, who is not afraid to need, who is not afraid to love. Amen. And our chalice lighting this morning comes with some gestures. So I hope you all join in. We hope we all join in
That wasn't one of them.
And she taught me how to do this too. We are Unitarian Universalists. This is the church of the open mind, the loving heart, and the helping hands. Together we care for our earth and work together for friendship and peace in our world. Will you now rise in body or spirit for our opening song number 346?
Today, we would like to honor the volunteers who live out our religious education program's mission to foster spiritual exploration and growth where children are an integral part of the congregational community. That's a big statement. It asks us to go beyond childcare on Sunday mornings. It is more than the recognition that our children are the future of our faith. They are, but they are also our present. They are here now. We have opportunities to minister to them while also realizing that they have their own gifts to share with us. And these volunteers know that. They step up and support our children and youth as they grow in our shared faith. Maya Angelou said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel." And it reminded me of an interaction I had with one of our parents lately. So it's my understanding that while Reverend Kelly was here, she asked folks to fill out a simple form with 3 really big questions. What are your greatest hopes? What are your concerns? And what do you love most about the fellowship? And she collected the responses throughout the week. This parent shared with me that she helped her very young daughter fill out that form. And her response to the question about her greatest concern, y'all, that she could only come to church twice a week. People remember how you make them feel. Our RE volunteers are vital to creating a culture of welcome for our young people here at the fellowship, where they feel valued and cared for, a place that they want to return to time and time again. and I extend to each of you my heartfelt gratitude for all you do. And now Reverend AJ and I will read the names of this year's RE volunteers.
Holly Bignall,
Allison Grundy,
Peggy Earnshaw,
Maya Hazlett,
Molly Hilmers,
Jenny Huntington,
Jennifer Killian,
Deborah Kumar,
Cheryl Lawson,
Molly Lee,
Jamie McCauley,
Jenny Mulgard,
Melissa Neeson,
Nicole Osey,
Sam Osey,
Eric Schmidt,
Joe Smith,
Andy Todd. Your ministry to our children and youth helps sustain our community. Thank you for both supporting our children's futures as well as recognizing them here and now for the gifts and talents they already share with us. Speaking of gifts, Reverend AJ, can you show our volunteers what they've won? These thank you gifts will be located in Friendship Hall for you. Please pick up one after the service today. Thank you. So we made it through our first year together. Yay! We did a lot, and I thought it would be nice to highlight some of our events and activities. So we started this journey back in August. As summer drew to a close, we held a back-to-school service where we shared some memories of our school days with one another. We blessed backpacks and more as we prepared to start a new year together. In early September, we had a teacher orientation for our RE volunteers, where we went over the curricula, our safety policies and procedures, learned where the vacuum cleaners and first aid kits are, and shared tips on classroom management, also known as how to talk so kids will sit down and listen. In October, we went to the Memorial Union for a special community, interfaith, multi-generational pride service. I, along with my fellow religious educators here in Ames, were tasked with curating a grace space for our children and families, and we presented a time for all ages during the service. That month, we also participated in Pumpkins for UNICEF. Our children and youth decorated and displayed pumpkins in the fireside room, and folks were encouraged to vote for their favorite by donating to the UNICEF box next to it. We raised $145 from our efforts, and that was double matched by an anonymous donor. So not bad for our first time. In November, we celebrated Thanksgiving with a special intergenerational service led by Reverend AJ and I, and we all expressed gratitude for the gifts that we each bring to this community. In December, we traveled through a world of winter lights with our holiday pageant. January was just really cold, y'all. There was a lot of hibernating. In February, we partnered up with our Mystery Pals and got to know one another better through clues and gifts we exchanged in our community mailbox. The mysteries were revealed in March with an ice cream social and a scavenger hunt. In April, we recognized Earth Day with a special all-ages Earth Fest and learned about a variety of topics from knowledgeable folks here at the fellowship. Through it all, we broke bread together every Wednesday evening during fellowship family nights, where we played games, watched movies, did some cool science experiments, and participated in a social action project called Cards for Kids. On Sunday mornings, we stayed connected to the Soul Matters themes and a monthly children's chapel that focused on them. Themes like welcome, generosity, love, and justice. Meanwhile, in our regular Sunday school classes, we created or used available curricula with lessons that built on each other as the months progressed. Included was a version of the Love Surrounds Us curriculum in our pre-K through second grade class. It was expanded to include our 8th principle. As the months went by, we learned more about each principle, and we created our own rainforest environment, which began with a lesson on the great Poppic tree. We added leaves, animals, flowers, clouds, and raindrops with our hopes and wishes for a better world. And although they aren't pictured, our families, life-size images of ourselves, and my personal favorite, exploding volcanoes. In 3rd through 5th grade, we got busy with our hands in the toolbox of faith. Each session uses a tool as a metaphor for an important quality, such as reflection, symbolized by a mirror, flexibility, duct tape, and justice by a flashlight. Reflecting on the qualities or tools of our faith, children gain insight into what makes our faith important in their lives and how they can grow in that faith. In middle school, we revisited a classic TV show with the Fifth Dimension. We watched Twilight Zone episodes and discussed them through the lens of our UU values. It's not very hard to make that connection because Rod Serling himself was a Unitarian. He believed that controversial messages and dialogues were needed to get a point across, and purposely created a science fiction show to get those messages past corporate censors. Those episodes resonate as strongly today as they did in the late 50s and early 60s. And in the high school youth group, we spent the beginning on community building. And I say we because I was leading the group with Riley every Wednesday evening, and I wanted to get to know each of them. At first, we played a lot of games, and as time went on, we began to discuss our values and how they affected our feelings about things like current events. When spring rolled around, we took a deep dive into the places where art and our personal faith journeys intersect. They shared the types of art that resonates with them. They connected to their deeper selves through activities that focused on drawing, writing, and music. And this, can we go back one? Is the end result of that process. These are their self-portraits, a representation of themselves the way they want to be seen by the world. They created these by first taking a selfie that they felt really captured their personality, and they used a reverse drawing technique on acetate sheets and painted those in acrylics. And that group of portraits are framed, and they'll be on display in June for Reverend AJ's art show, and I hope that you'll come by and look at those. And then we can see the group that created those. Professionally, there were opportunities for growth and development for me as well. I attended a week-long Laredo Fall Conference in Milwaukee and professional days at the Mid-America Region Annual Assembly in Madison. I completed 2 Renaissance modules on both system theory and UU identity. And I had regular monthly and quarterly Zoom meetings with Laredo leadership, UUA staff, Mid-America staff, and a range of other colleagues. And within the week, I will be submitting my completed packet to request acceptance into the UUA Religious Education Credentialing Program at the leadership level. If all goes well, I invite you back here in 2027 to celebrate my completion of that program. There will be cake. Last but not least, we squeezed in a religious education startup with our regional staff, Lauren Wyeth. We shared stories about what had come before, what happens now, how we prioritize our work and accomplish our goals, and we established who does what and when and how. And we talked a bit about what we would like to see for the future of our program. So you can see why all these volunteers we recognized earlier are so integral to faith formation here at the fellowship, because there's a lot of it happening. And as Connie Goodbride, religious educator and UU leader, says, everything we do is faith development. Everything we teach is Unitarian Universalism. The congregation is the curriculum. Whether it's from the pulpit or in the classroom, ministry is to challenge the people to continue their faith development. We are all works in progress. And that means that the youngest in our faith community observe us adults and to a large extent develop their own faith values, not just in their Sunday school lessons, but by observing the way adults do church, from Sunday services to classes, even governance and polity, and especially in our interactions with one another. All of this is faith development. So creating that culture of welcome and belonging and acceptance and forgiveness is vital to the faith development of everyone in the fellowship. people remember how you treated them. Rick Lawrence and Group Magazine, who are sort of known as the leading experts on ministry with young people, interviewed 10,000 teenagers and asked them if they were choosing a faith home, what would be most important to them. And number one, at 73%, was a welcoming environment where I can be myself. And as we were all getting ready to wrap up youth group one recent Wednesday evening, one of the youth shared with the group that she didn't want to leave yet and wanted to know if we could just all stay for a little longer. And we asked her to tell us why, and she said it's because she comes to youth group each week because it was her opportunity to feel a sense of safety and just relief, because this was a place where they could just be with everyone. And they weren't quite ready to go back out into the world just yet. People remember how you make them feel. So the strength of this faith community lies in its ability to create an environment where the youngest and the oldest among us feel a sense of belonging, a sense that we're known and seen and accepted even when we make mistakes. We lift people up so they know that they're valued, they are loved, and they are enough. During the startup, Lauren asked what our mission statement was. If you know it, say it with me. I didn't know I was going to be giving you a test, but here we are. We shared that it was growing spiritually, creating community, striving for justice, and learning to love. Oh, she said that is lovely. These are your guiding stars, your constellation. Say it proudly and say it often. And she's right. These are lovely guiding stars, this constellation of values in this place of acceptance and belonging. May we continue to strive to live into those values and create a place that welcomes everyone of all ages in our RE program, in this fellowship, and in the wider world.
And the people say,
Amen.
thank you, Dana. Oh, you have brought so much to this community and to me.
All right, and now to the tune of Do a Deer, we're going to sing about our principles. Each person is important to be kind in all you do. 3, we help each other learn. 4, and search for what is true. 5, all people have a say. 6, work for a peaceful world. 7, the web of life's away. And this family races of today.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Maya Hazlett. I've been involved with RE here at the Fellowship since I was quite young. I grew up in Ames, and my family started coming to the Fellowship when I was in 3rd grade. So I have many fond memories of the RE program. I remember doing holidays and holidays in the classroom, doing Secret Friends, doing coming of age, attending cons with high schoolers, and traveling to Boston was a really special experience. So when I was growing up, Fellowship was a place for me to see my friends and to think about the world beyond my everyday life. It's also where I met my husband, Dan. And Dan and I both grew up here in Ames. But then life took us to Minnesota and then to Wisconsin. But we moved back to Ames in 2016. And we knew we wanted to have the same opportunities for our children that we had been able to have here. We wanted them to have that sense of community and belonging, like Dana just talked about, and a space to think about what's important in life, and opportunities to learn about other cultures and other ways to think, and a place to meet people and make new friends. So we came back to fellowship, signed our kids up for RE. In my years away from the fellowship, I had had the chance to participate in other UU congregations. I started teaching RE at a congregation in Madison, and I learned about all the effort that goes into running the RE program. So finding the curriculum, preparing the lessons, getting the supplies, working with the other teachers. And so that was good for me to learn about that. And then at this fellowship, I recently, a few years ago, joined the RE committee. And that was new to me, and I was like, wow, there's even more going on behind the scenes than I even knew about. The education that the youth receive here is really coordinated to try to give them a fulfilling and enriching experience. Like, I don't know if you know this, but there's like learning goals. Like for RE, like we don't just randomly pick out lessons. There's like things that we're trying to accomplish. The fellowship really cares about the spiritual growth of the children here. And I just think that's amazing. And here at the Ames Fellowship, it could not be easier right now, and that's because we are so lucky to have smart, experienced, motivated, and enthusiastic religious educator, Dana. And so being an RE teacher and being on the RE committee has been really easy and really fulfilling experience with her on board here. So I love teaching RE here at the fellowship. It's really rewarding to get to know the young people and to be able to be that support and help them, give them that sense of belonging. And that's really rewarding. And if you have thought about volunteering to teach RE, I'm here to tell you that it's really easy and it's really fun, and you don't have to be here every Sunday. Thank you.
I'm Cheryl Lawson, and I am grateful for this fellowship has always supported a strong religious education program. At this RE startup workshop that Dana talked about, facilitated by a congregational life consultant from the UUA, I learned that religious education programs floundered during the pandemic and are struggling to make a comeback. Congregations have had to reduce RE staff positions and cut budgets as well. Our fellowship persevered through Zoom and RE in the park and managed to survive an entire year without an RE professional. That's how committed our fellowship is to RE. That's when our stars aligned and we were able to hire Dana. She brings her talent and experience, and we are blessed to have her. But she can't do it alone, and that's where you come in. Like many of you, I came to the fellowship because I wanted a liberal religious education for my kids. I have taught RE on and off for 30 years because I believe we need to help raise kids be good people who will help make this a better world, and that's my interpretation of the RE mission statement. Also, it's a whole lot of fun to hang out with the kids and learn about Unitarian Universalism with them. I'm not a grandparent, but I'm grandparent age, and I'm glad they're still letting me teach. Parents have a vested interest in teaching, but they may want to catch a break and have some time off. It's easy and rewarding to teach. An easy to follow lesson plan arrives in your box midweek. The congregation will sing you and your class out the door. The lesson plans and all the materials you need for the lesson are waiting for you. After the chalice lighting, you get to experience the joys and concerns of our young ones. They are delightful. If you can read a story, supervise a class, play a game, watch a video clip, and ask discussion questions, you can do this. You are not on your own. There are 2 teachers in each classroom, and as part of a 3-person teaching team, you are only committed to 2 Sundays per month. You can still experience the UU community before and after class and can listen to the service at home later in the week. From preschool to youth group, each age group and each individual is unique. Please consider teaching if you are asked, or better yet, seek out Dana and she can help you how to decide how to contribute to the RE program. Thank you.
And now we will give and receive our offering. Please know that this morning half of the non-pledge offering will be donated to Ministry for Earth. This organization is a seed bed for spiritual grounding and education that inspires deep practices of earth care, justice, and flourishing for all. They envision a world in which reverence, gratitude, and care for each other and for the living earth are central to the lives of all people. The other half of the offering will support programs here in our fellowship, including religious education, that make this community of inspiration and transformation. We'll pass the basket here in Fellowship Hall, but alternately for those at home and those with a cell phone, you can go to uufames.org/give. And if you're visiting today, please know your presence here is gift enough.
The bridging ceremony celebrates the transition of our youth from their high school experience into young adulthood. We also want to recognize other steps along this journey: middle schoolers beginning high school, elementary students beginning middle school. And while we don't have any rising 8th graders this year, we do have some 5th graders in our midst who are preparing for middle school next year, and we would like to celebrate them today. One of the most important things we can do for our youth is to support them into adolescence and then into young adulthood, to keep them connected to Unitarian Universalism and continue to minister to them as they become adults. In the words of religious educator Jane Truran, today we honor the youth among us, you who are stepping beyond and away and toward. Today we share in your journey and encourage your discovery. Our rising 5th graders this year are Lincoln Aiden Frana, Trillium Hazlett, Philip Lemon, and Vivian Todd. We celebrate all of you as you take the next step on your journey, moving from childhood to adolescence. This is a wonderful time in your life, full of hope and expectation and wonder. And as you begin to explore more about who you are, you're like a kite. Now we know that kites, while they're just lying on the ground, are not living up to their full potential. But a breeze is beginning to blow, and as it gets stronger, it'll lift you up higher in the sky. And as you soar, it is up to us, the adults in the congregation, to attach a string of moral guidance to help you stay firmly grounded. Sometimes you'll exceed all expectations as the wind lifts you far into the blue sky. And when it does, we will celebrate the joy of flight with you. Other times the wind may stop altogether. You may falter. You may even fail at times. It is then that we will do all we can to make your landing as safe as possible. So I would invite Vivian and Trillium to come forward. And Lincoln, I think I saw you here too. Would you want to come up as well? No? It's fine. We'll give you your gift afterward. Take this kite as a gift from us, so that on this journey, you may always remember to live up to your full potential as we help guide you. Whenever you see it, remember just how special you are. Remember to soar as high as you can, and most importantly, remember that this congregation holds you in the arms of love as you navigate your way to adulthood. Thank you.
As the church and school year draws to a close, we recognize that transitions are occurring for many of us here. This morning we offer public witness to the rite of passage from youth to young adulthood. We call it a bridging ceremony because a bridge invites the traveler to journey away from home. At the same time, the bridge is planted in the homeland as well as the new territory. So the connection is not severed, only stretched. And so this ceremony is both an invitation and a hope. For we are inviting our graduating youth to remember as they spread their wings that their roots are here, and we hope they will return to us often. Our graduating seniors are Kaylin Schmidt, attending the University of Iowa this fall with a double major in film and pre-med, and Jackson Ryder, attending the University of Iowa this fall, majoring in political science. Not silence, no. Kaylin, would you join me here on the platform? Jackson is not able to be here this morning. Kaylin, you have grown far beyond the child you once were. With each new day, you learn more about yourself, your world, your loyalties, and devotions. The wisdom and moral compass you have gained in our free faith will serve you well on the journey before you. May this fellowship and this faith ever be a home to which you can return often. We bless you now and wish you well in this time of new beginnings. When we welcome babies into our community at child dedications, we often do it by giving them roses, tightly closed buds on stems from which the thorns have been removed. The buds are symbols of life just beginning, whose unfolding will be experienced petal by petal. The thornless stems are vivid images of our intent to protect children from all that could be hurtful, to make their path smooth as their lives unfold. You are at the other edge of childhood, and it is fitting to again use the symbol of the rose. But these are not the tight buds of babyhood now, but roses open into full flower. The stems this time are not stripped of their thorns. We can no longer shield you from the hurts that accompany the joys and responsibilities of adulthood, any more than we can keep buds from opening. Adult life is rich in color and texture. Although it can be thorny and challenging, we urge you to engage it fully. While we are no longer able to protect you, you have acquired the tools to protect yourself. And beyond that, you have the tools to make a positive difference in this world in which we live. These tools include values by which to steer your life on a worthwhile course, decision-making skills, and the understanding that critical thinking is imperative in making good decisions. A heritage of the right of conscience and the need to act on what your conscience demands, and a religious community in which to explore, test, and refine your faith. These tools are represented by the gift of a chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism. And we will now share with you the flame of our community. We, as your religious community, have been blessed to have shared in your childhood. As you journey into adulthood, we look forward to witnessing the blossoming of your life. Please welcome this fine young person to this UU community as the young adult that now stands before you. And will you rise now in body or spirit for our closing hymn, number 1020, Woyaya. Our closing words are from Nikki Giovanni. I am old and need to remember. You are young and need to learn. If I forget the words, will you remember the music? Go now in peace.